Yes, children, hi. How are you all? Hope you all had a good time. Okay? Yes, children. Let me ask you something. Okay? Do you have a bicycle at home? Cycle? Or do you like cycling? Yes or no? Yes, everyone likes cycling. Boys, girls, whoever, they like cycling. If you have time, free time, you enjoy cycling. If you have your friend have a cycle, then you both can ride, isn't it? Yes. So, how the cycle is moving, or to ride a bicycle, you have to sit on that seat, isn't it? Then, does it move on its own? If you sit on the seat, will it move? No. You have to keep your feet on the pedals, isn't it? Then you have to apply some force to move it, isn't it? Then only the bicycle will move, isn't it? So you have to apply some force on the pedals of the bicycle to move. So we need force for an object to set in motion, we say. For moving something, we have to apply force, isn't it? Now, other example, if we say, have you ever seen a swing, empty swing moving? No one is there in the swing. In the park, you have seen the swing, isn't it? No one is there in the swing. It's an empty swing, but it's moving because of the wind. Because of wind, the swing starts moving. So through wind, it is some force is applying on that swing. That's why it is moving. Have you seen a bull pulling a cart or a horse pulling a cart? Isn't yes. If it is having full of load in the cart, then we push from the back. Then it moves. So we are pushing it, right? So we are applying some force on it. That's why it is moving. So for any object to move, we need to apply force on it. To ride the bicycle, we have to apply force. To push a cart, we have to apply force. And an empty swing is moving due to the wind. Wind is applying force on that, isn't it? So force is needed to move an object. Force is needed to move an object. In the same way, you are riding a bicycle, suddenly you want to stop it. So you apply brake, then it will stop, isn't it? So to stop an object also you are applying force. So we need force to move an object, we need force to stop an object. To play cricket, hockey, football, or to throw the ball, you are applying force to throw the ball. After some time, the ball speed gets less, it comes down. So we catch it. So for catching a ball, for throwing the ball, for everything, we need to apply force. In football, when we move the football, here and there we can move. So we are changing the direction, not only straight we make it move, isn't it? Like this, we move the football. Means force is needed to change the direction, we say. Force is needed to move an object, force is needed to stop an object, force is needed to change the direction, isn't it? Okay, so today we are going to learn about force. Then comes what, when we apply force, some object is moving through a distance, we say. We apply force on a bicycle, it is moving. It is moving through, and it reach a distance, isn't it? So when we move an object, or when we apply a force on an object, it moves through a distance. That means some work is done there, isn't it? Some work is done. So to do some work, we need to apply force. So work is done, we say. Work is done when we apply force. So work. It is also important, work. Then, okay, we have done some work, we can say. When the work is done, we can say when we apply force, the object moves through a distance. So work is done, we say. So force, work, Then to do work we need something. Simply we can't go and do the work. To run, to breathe, to walk, to jump, to do any activities, we need some energy. So energy is the capacity to do work. If you have more energy, then we can do more work. So force, work, energy, they all are related, isn't it? So today we are going to learn about the topic force, work, energy, lesson 15. The lesson for today, force, work, energy. So children, as I said, we need to apply force, or we need force to move an object. We need force to stop an object. We need force to change the direction of an object. At the same time, when we apply force and the object moves through a distance, we can say that some work is done there. To do work, we need energy. So the ability or capacity to do work, it is energy. So force, work, energy. So today our lesson is force, work, energy. Let us learn about this in detail. Okay children? So today our lesson is lesson 15, force, work and energy. Time to warm up. A force is a push or a pull of an object. Force means what? A push or a pull of an object. A push moves it away from you. If we push something, it is moving away from you, and a pull moves it close to you. Pulling something, that object will come towards us. Okay, time to know. Force is that factor which is necessary to change the position and state of a body. Force means something, yes, it's a factor to change the position of the body. A body is here, something is here, we are pushing it, so it changes its position from here to there, somewhere it moves. So force is a factor which is necessary to change the position of the body. Then when you push a cart, it moves. When we push a cart, it moves. It also moves if you pull towards you. If we pull it towards us, then also it moves. A push or pull is called force. Force means a push or a pull. It is nothing but force. Then when you push a toy car on a carpet, it slows down and stops after some time, isn't it? The force which acts on it to slow it down is called the force of friction, we say. Move a toy car on the floor or on the carpet. When we push, it moves. After some time, the speed getting decrease. It slows down, then it stops. The car stops. So the force which acts on it means the force which makes the car to stop. It is nothing but force of friction, or frictional force, we say. Okay, friction. When you throw a ball up, it comes down, it slows down and stops and falls down. This force which pulls down the ball is called gravity. We have chalk. I'm throwing it up, it comes down. It comes down, I'm catching it, isn't it? So when we throw any object, it goes up, then slows down and comes down, falls down. So why every object throwing up is falling down? Because of gravity. That force is called gravity. Okay. Here you can see an example of push and pull. Image they have shown. Pushing means when we push something, it goes away from us. When we pull something, it comes towards us. The first image, it is there, a boy and a girl pushing and pulling the ball. Boy try to pull it towards her, girl also trying to pull it towards her. So pushing and pulling, it is nothing but force. A push or a pull is called a force. Now we are going to learn types of forces. Gravity, okay. Gravity is the attractive pull between any two objects. It is the force of nature that attracts all objects in the universe to all other objects in the universe. All objects, whatever objects are there in the universe, they have an attraction between each other because of the force of attraction. That is nothing but gravity. The same force that keeps us on the earth. We are on the earth. We are living on this land, earth. We are here. When we stand, we can stand properly. When we sit, we can sit. When we lay down, we can lay down properly. Isn't it? So we are not flying here, right? When we are stand, we are standing. What force makes us to stand here? Or yes, it's the force of gravity. Earth is attracting us towards it. The gravitational force at the surface of the planet is the force that binds all the bodies to earth. This force is one of the 4 forces recognized by the physicists, and this kind of force is known as gravity. Force of gravity is a binding force, make all the objects towards the earth. Force that binds all the bodies to earth. Earth has that property to attract all the objects. That's why we are here. That force is nothing. It is called force of gravity, or we can say gravitational force. You can see an image there from a tree, fruits falling down. Why the fruit is not going up? It is falling down. Falling down. Why? Because earth is attracting it. So earth attracts all the objects. That's why it is falling down. That is nothing but force of gravity. Okay, it is called the force of gravity. Things are falling down. Things are on that surface itself. This force is called that binding force towards that make it there, or towards the earth, attracts towards it. It is nothing but force of gravity. When a force is used on an object and it moves through a distance, we apply some force, then that object is moving. That means a work is done. We say a work is done. Okay. Next type of forces we are going to learn about friction. Friction or frictional force is a force that acts between two surfaces in contact. When there are two surfaces, then we say there is a frictional force. As I said you earlier, when we move a toy car on the floor, toy car and floor, two surfaces, and after some time the speed gets decreased, it slows down because of frictional force. When you roll a ball on the floor, what happens? It moves, then slows down, then stops. It comes to rest after some time, or it stops after some time because of friction. So when the surfaces of two bodies are in contact with each other, a force is required to move or slide one of them over the other. So when two bodies are in contact, see, can you rub your palm each other like this? Two surfaces are in contact. Two surfaces. Heat is produced, isn't it? So this is also an example of friction, we say. Force is required to rub, isn't it? Yeah. Then this is because there is usually another kind of force which acts to oppose or prevent the movement of one body over the other. This opposing force is known as friction, and its magnitude depends on the nature of the surface of the bodies in contact. Can you see an image there? A boy is pulling, or a man is pulling a door. He is trying to pull the door with great effort. It's so hard to move that box or door, we say. He's trying to pull it, push it. Okay, so it is with a great effort. We need to apply more force to move it. But that object is, after some time, it moves a little. Suppose a small chair means we can easily move, but this is a big object and it is difficult to move, so he is trying to push it slowly. Then slowly what happens? It moves, isn't it? It moves. So we are trying to move it, but it is there on that surface itself. What force makes that door there? It is nothing but static friction, we say. Every object is on their own place. If we keep a book on a table, it will be there. If we keep a glass on a table, it will be there, isn't it? Means why that object is there itself means that force is called, or that is called static friction or static energy, we say, that makes the object to be there. Okay, so we are trying to move that object from that. from that static energy or static friction. So when we move an object with a great effort, there is some force to prevent that. It is called opposing force. Here which force is that? Static friction. The door is there itself, no? With great effort we are moving. We are trying to move. After it is time only it will move. So two forces are there applying. One force we are applying, one force is there. Which force? That makes that object there itself. That is the opposing force we say. So this because of this opposing force is nothing but friction. And after sometimes it moves, isn't it? Yes. So friction helps in what? Friction helps in moving, or we can say when we walk, we are not slip down and fall, we are walking, isn't it? Our shoes or our sandal and the road, two surfaces are in contact and we are moving. We walk, we can run, isn't it? So friction helps in walking, running, cycling, or holding something. Now I am holding this book, right? It is not falling down, right? It is a frictional force that makes me to hold the book. Okay, so friction helps in running, walking, holding objects, writing. For everything, friction force is there. Okay, now types of friction. There are two types of friction, namely static and kinetic friction. Static friction is called limiting friction. Two friction are there. One is static. The other one is kinetic. Static friction means that it's a friction that makes the object to be there. Okay, if object is in that place, that means it is because of static friction we say. It's a limiting friction takes place when there is no motion, no moving. Books are there on the table. Then when we sit on a chair, we are there on the chair, isn't it? So keeping a bowl on a table. So every object is on there itself, on that particular place. That is because of static friction. It is not moving, isn't it? So while kinetic friction is known as dynamic or sliding friction occurs when there is a motion. A car is moving, a ball is moving when we make them move. So moving object has which force or which friction? It is kinetic friction. When something is moving, then it has which friction? Kinetic friction. When something is there on the place itself, it is nothing but static friction. Okay, these are the two types of friction. So we are learning about force, work and energy. So we learned that force is nothing but a push or a pull of an object is called force. To move an object, force is needed. Force is needed to move an object. For object to be in motion, we need to apply force. To stop an object, we need force. Force is needed for all the objects to move and to stop, isn't it? Then we learned about friction, isn't it? When a roll a ball, after some time the speed gets decreased, it lessens its speed and it comes to rest or it stops. What makes the ball to stop means it is frictional force we say. Or when we are pushing a box with a great effort, we are pushing a force, pushing the box. Slowly that box moves. So there are two forces acting upon it. One, the force we are applying. Another force is there to make the box to be there. That is static friction we say. Static friction makes the body there itself. But we are opposing it. We are applying the force. It is moving. Isn't it? So friction are of two types, static and kinetic. Static friction is nothing but keeps the body there itself when the body is not in motion. Or kinetic friction or kinetic energy, it is nothing but when the body is moving, it has kinetic friction we say. Then every body attract towards the earth because of the force of gravity. Because of the force of gravity, it is the earth's attractional force or force of gravity makes the apple to fall down, or the ball when we throw up falling down. Any object when we throw up falling down, or we are there on the surface of the earth, we are here, we are standing here, we are in the correct position, because every body is attracted by the earth, towards the earth. It is nothing but the force of attraction called gravitational force or force of gravity.